How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Chalice's Palace. I am James Chalice alongside my co-host Brandon Ulrich and a special guest today, Mr. Scotty Stark.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited to actually talk sports.
Yeah, talk a little bit of basketball. Playoffs, as y'all know, I am a Timberwolves fan. Brandon here is a Icky Lakers fan. And then Scotty here is a Bulls fan.
Yeah. So, shout out Josh Giddey, good season for us. Excited for the future. Totally brainwashed over here. We're going to have another mediocre season.
And be stuck at like the play-in.
Playing 9-10 seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Low key though, if we actually develop, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually made the playoffs next year. Josh Giddey went on a run in March.
Yeah.
Kobe White's emerging. Modest has had a good stretch. His averages were so low this past season because he only got 4 or 5 minutes at the beginning of the season. But once he started getting 20-plus minutes, he was averaging upwards of the teens, 18, 19, 20.
I'm trying to think of who it is that he's a good young guy.
Well, if Lonzo can just stay
he's
healthy
he's number 11. I just guessed him.
He's so washed though. Yeah. Honestly, I think we should trade him or just release him. Honestly, he's taking up $20 million in cap.
Is it Dosunmu? Is that one of your guys' players?
Yes.
Yeah, that's number 11. Dude, he's good.
Okay. Shout out him. He was the Illini too.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois dog right there.
Big dog.
Yes. He was I wish he could have done more. He could have, and I wish he did, but he's looking to kind of just sit at a bench player, so it'll be what it'll be.
He's good enough.
Yeah, he sits at rotation, and he was injured at the end of the season there, but yeah, just washed up Bulls fan. You know how it is from Chicago. Just Bears sports as a whole, it's rocky.
He's saying this to a Minnesota fan, mind you.
To Minnesota.
At least he has championships, but.
Not too many while he's been...
Not while I've been living.
Alive.
I literally got the Cubs.
Well, I mean...
Oh my... The Minnesota teams have not won any, big league games since the 90s. The Twins are the only ones to win it all, and they won 3 World Series in the 90s.
Yeah, that's fair. I retract that statement.
Chicago is much more winning than Minnesota. Yeah.
In the playoffs.
Well,
actually, no, not even in the playoffs.
We got the Bulls with Jordan.
The Vikings have the 10th most playoff wins inside NFL history.
Shout out D Rose, by the way, retired this season. Legacy Bull.
That's right. He did retire this season.
Minnesota Timberwolves legend. Dropped his career high with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I was so proud of him. I worked my ass off, man.
Cried after the game. That was actually pretty cool.
We love Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
I actually, when I was little, I watched a little bit of basketball. I didn't really get into sports until my sophomore year of high school. That's when I actually started watching sports.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And I remember when I was little, I was watching basketball because I would sometimes watch Bulls games. I remember Derrick Rose and I remember Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
And then I stopped watching it, and then I was like, oh my goodness, they're still around.
A lot of people actually forget how good Derrick Rose was. He the Bron, Wade, Bosch team. Derrick Rose swept them in the regular season and was beating them in the series before he got injured.
Derrick Rose was just him?
Well, at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, Bron should have won the MVP simply because of stats. But D Rose single-handedly, with Joakim Noah as the second best player on the team, maybe Carlos Boozer, if you want to say.
It was also because of his age. But he was younger, so he had less time to develop inside the league than LeBron. So that's another factor going into it. Because a lot of people say he only got it because he was young. No, he got it because he was young and the people around him weren't as good as LeBron had.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing as...
He had a better record than Bron's Bosch Wade team.
LeBron Glazer here. LeBron Glazer here. LeBron should have not won Rookie of the Year. That should have went to Carmelo Anthony.
I agree.
Really?
What do you mean, really? The only thing LeBron led in was assists.
Better season.
Yeah.
Everything else, Carmelo Anthony led in. The only thing was LeBron was younger, so that's why he got it. It's not like how Rose and LeBron, looking stats-wise, they're like this, but Rose is a little bit ahead, and then you're like, all right, we're going to give it to him because he's younger. You had Carmelo Anthony, LeBron's younger. He shouldn't have won that.
Yeah. I don't know, but
Anthony was just a one and done. Like, he was still pretty young, too, but... Yeah,
Did you call Carmelo Anthony a one and done?
He was only good for like
No.
good.
In college.
Oh.
In college, he was...
Oh. I thought you were saying, like...
freshman year.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I was like, whoa.
Best players, yeah.
Bro must have had a hell of a sophomore slump.
No.
Like-
no. Talking about only 1 year in college and then...
Zion Williamson. Well, he played more than 1 year, but...
In college?
Yeah, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
He only played 1 year?
Yeah,
I
that's
thought he played 2.
He played one.
Oh, yeah, he was just so much of a goat at Duke that he just, like, got straight into the league, and then now he's mid.
Folded. Injuries destroyed his career. It's actually sad, like, to think about how many, like, players they're just, like, T-Mac. Like,
Yeah,
just
T-Mac's
you
a
look
big
you
one.
look at
T-Mac's
so many players that just proficient careers, and all you can do is say, what if? Like, low-key, if I could go back in time and change one thing, I would be like Tibbs, take him out. Because we were up 39 points on the Sixers when Rose got injured.
Yeah.
39. It
was late in the
it was
game,
60 to 99. So what? Yeah, 39 points.
Yeah.
And
No reason to be out.
That's ingrained in his head.
like what?
Most tragic experience of his life.
Okay, I remember being. I was. What? How old was I? I was what? 5? No, 6 years
Pretty
old.
young,
I was
yeah.
6 years old, and I was sitting there.
That's when he
I'm a
reached
huge
consciousness.
Bulls fan. Well, okay, but I'm a huge basketball fan. I love playing basketball. Love watching it. I had just gone to the game a little bit ago too. I went to a preseason game with my grandparents, and I saw D Rose, and I was like, "This guy's awesome." And then he won MVP, and I was like, "This is our year." Like second coming of Jordan right here, type crap, and that's.
Yeah, that's a
I don't
shame
know.
he went through all
Anyways, I'm a Bulls fan, and I'm delusional, but it's okay because we just keep on chugging over here. Yeah, eventually it'll. Hey, Cubs are pretty good though.
That is true. I do like the Cubs.
Swept the Dodgers.
I explained this on, I think a couple episodes ago. Y'all should check it out if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, the Cubs are the only non-Minnesota team that I like. I love the Cubs. But anyway, enough of the side tangents. Time to get on to the NBA playoffs. So I want to start off with Timberwolves Lakers first game BTA in LA.
Here we go.
BTA LA. Cade Cunningham sold my parlay. Wolves in 5.
Real long one there.
Dude, Cade sold my one friend's parlay because he had Cade to drop like 4 free throws in a game, and Cade had 0.
That's wild.
Like, bro, 4 isn't even high.
No, it's not.
Shay's like over under for free throws is probably like 22.
So it's actually interesting. I'm looking at just like box score here from the first game, and like it actually Ant was the 3rd highest scorer on the team that game.
Yeah, Ant said he was going to take a backseat.
25, 9, and 2 on 11 for 13 and 3 for 3 from 3.
And we were talking about McDaniels last week too,
as well as
about how much of an X factor. Like,
Oh yeah,
as
and
well
then
as Nas is 23.
and then he
5,
goes out and
2.
does that in game 1.
because Nas Reed is him. I know he dropped 9, but Nas Reed is him.
It's really interesting. It's really cool to see like his evolution from just a defensive player. I think too, because he was like he came into the league. He was strictly defense. He couldn't efficiently score on offense. He was shooting like 32%. I think his rookie year.
And that might sound all right if like you're sitting there and you're like, oh, he might be a guard. Bro's a big man.
Yeah.
He should be able to
Yeah.
get those buckets.
Yeah. He's what? What is he?
He's 6'9",
Yeah, he's
but then
6'9".
Yeah, he's a center.
264, so he's a big.
Yeah. So like
He's gonna be a big dude.
yeah, but I mean he's averaging 12, 2, and 6 right now as of this regular season, and I think that's just a huge step up from what it was a couple years ago. It's just pretty cool to see his evolution and his effort in game 1, I think. I mean, I think, like you said, that was a big, big X factor for him.
Well, not only on the offensive side, but on the defensive side too. Like you have Nas Reed, I had just had a brain fart.
Jaden McDaniels?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels, he's a top defensive player inside the league, and then he's able to go out and he's able to put up buckets to make that game how it is. Like before going inside this series, Anthony Edwards said, I'm going to take a back seat. And he never says this. And he says, I'm going to take a back seat. That way my team can play good. which I do like.
That was his problem last year. Was that he
Exactly.
he tried so hard to just carry the team, and he actually did.
Trying to play Superman. Yeah.
He did an incredible job against the Nuggets. I never thought that they were going to win that series last year, and he won it for them. And it was crazy because it was right after Jokic was named MVP, and they went on a 3-game run.
Yeah.
Crazy work, and then unfortunately didn't get it done against the Mavs. But I think that's where
Still
Ant
good
learned,
run.
I think that's where Ant learned that just he can't carry the team on his own. I mean, he got so tired out by Kyrie. Kyrie owned him in that series.
Well, that's why they shouldn't have had him on Kyrie. They should have had Mike on Kyrie because Mike is a vet, and even though Mike is like a little bit slower and less athletic than Ant, Mike knows how to play defense like that better than Ant.
I think Ant could have taken Luka a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would have rather had.
He's sweater.
Like Luka is the Timberwolves killer that was shown in game 1 by him dropping 37 points. This man right here, Brandon Ulrich, I said to him Wolves in 5, and he said Luka's going to go for 40, and he dropped
And he almost
37.
did. He almost did, but nobody
almost
else was really there. I mean,
LeBron got locked down in the first quarter. 0 points in the first
19
quarter.
points for LeBron. Slow start, and that second quarter was
8 for
terrible.
18
That
too.
second quarter was terrible. Yeah, not a good shooting
1
night.
for 5 from 3.
Reeves had an okay game, 16 points. Then talking about that big matchup we were talking about before last week between Hayes and Gobert. Jackson Hayes had 1 point. Gobert had 2 points. So obviously showing it's not going to be a big scoring battle. But
that's the thing.
You
It's
know
the
Gobert
defensive
can
stuff.
sometimes.
Gobert misses dunks.
But he misses,
I think,
but like.
I think also we have to look at like how inefficient the Lakers were game 1 too. Like you look
Oh,
at
for
their,
sure.
you
And the
look at their-
Timberwolves were shot lights out.
You look at their field goal percentages. I mean, Rui was 3 for 9. Braun was 8 for 18. Hayes was 0 for 2. Reeves was 5 for 13. Doncic was 12 for 22. So that's the one good part.
If you
Even
look
the
at
bench,
the
too.
Yeah,
if you look at the whole thing, the Lakers from the field shot 39.8 and their 3-pointers was 36.6. Then you switch over to the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves shot 51.2 from the field and 50% from 3.
50% from 3 on 42 threes.
They broke a record.
That's crazy.
They broke their record.
I'm sorry that is not happening yet. Not to say you guys can't shoot good in the game, and then we saw game 2.
No, it's
changed there.
It's not that won't happen again. Where you see, yes, you can see Jaden McDaniels lead the team, but I don't think you're going to see Jaden McDaniels going 3 for 3. I don't think you're going to see. I think you can see Naz Reid going 6 for 9.
Well, and on the flip side,
It could
here,
happen.
On the flip side here, we look at Jaden McDaniel's stats for game 2 that was played just this past Tuesday: 8, 4, and 1 on 3 for 11. So, I mean, it's really back and forth. But the thing is, I mean, with the trade that they made this season, like there's an X factor everywhere. I think they did a really good job. Like last year, I think it was Cat and Ant. That was the
Oh yeah, it was Batman.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Robin.
that was
That's
the
duo.
team.
And then
right?
you just had on defense, the team was Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah,
that's
so
all
that-
it was.
That's the thing, but I think they've done a really good job. I think honestly, even though they're a lower seed, they're a better team overall because, like I just said, they have an X factor everywhere. I mean, Jaden McDaniel shot 3 for 11, but Randall was 9 for 17, 27, 4, and 6. Ant was 25 and 6 in rebounds. Right? People are gonna pick up the slack because they're able to. Like,
Well, yeah, and you just look at the bench. They have the reigning 6th man of the year. They're a good team. I want to go back to the big conversation though, because game 2, Hayes dropped 2 points, had 1 rebound and 1 block, and Rudy
Lakers are
Gobert
running
had
small
6,
a lot.
6, and 2.
Yeah, Lakers are running small a lot. He
He only had
played more
9 minutes.
He didn't play more than 10 minutes the
That
first
is
game
true.
either. And where
I
Gobert's
just-
playing 29 minutes.
I don't
So,
see the Lakers actually like going phenomenal this series. Like, not to sound like a little whiny brat, and I was saying this on Sports Extra Uncut here at Indiana State University. Little shout out to them. But I was saying, like, not to sound like a little whiny baby, but the refs were clearly biased in that game. Clearly. Like, I don't know if I have the clip of LeBron to show the camera. This is why I need an editor. Shout out to my boy Keandre Saunters. He said that he'd be my my editor.
There you
So
go.
shout out to him. But if I can find it, watch. I'm not going to be able to.
I actually think it's funny though. Like I just talked about, I don't know. I'm very back and forth on the Timberwolves Lakers series because I think it could go either way, and I'm not like particularly a fan of both. I think definitely. I mean, I'm from Chicago, so I'm not as much a Bron fan as other people are. Hey,
All right.
but I mean, I think Ant is the face of the league. But what I'm trying to get at is like, I think this would have been a much different series if Cat was still on the team for the Timberwolves. I think they would have. I think
it would, but wouldn't,
Lakers.
because
I think it would've been
Cat
very
is
tough.
great on defense with that combination with Rudy Gobert, and then he went to the Knicks, and I think at the start of the year he was allowing 94% shooting in the paint.
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know. It's very interesting because I don't think Hayes would have stood a chance defensively or offensively with Cat in there, but I think he has more of a chance now because Cat is gone and Randall's there instead, who can get on the defensive side of the ball, but I think he's
It's not as dominant.
No,
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
nearly as
And
much as Cat.
if it would have been still Cat, the Lakers would have been obviously maybe kicking themselves. I mean, you still have Luka Doncic, but Anthony Davis would have been perfect.
they
for
definitely
that
would be kicking
Yeah.
themselves.
scenario.
I don't know why I
Yeah.
cannot find this. Let me try to look it
It's
up on
very
the
interesting. Like both the
computer.
teams made trades that kind of put them, like they're almost each other's kryptonite a little bit because of the trades they made this season. I mean, like the Lakers added a lot of offensive potential.
This was this man. This was this man. He's literally going like this, and he's like, like, dude, he does that, and then they still give it to him. They still give him the flagrant, so he gets away with it. And then there was a shot where he shot it, he missed it. They called it like a flagrant foul, and then or maybe a tech. I forget what they called it, but they gave the Lakers the ball back along with a free throw. And I'm like, what? So it'd be a tech. I was like,
cooking.
what's going on?
Maybe a
He
little bit.
screamed at a ref when he got fouled, and he goes, "Now you effing call that," and then said the S word. I don't like cussing that much, but so does this. Anthony Edwards goes, "That's a tech. That's a tech." Ant does that. Guarantee he gets a tech. Guarantee it. Because I forgot what he got a tech for the one game. I forget what he got a tech for, but it was he said just something, and he got a tech. But LeBron can get away with it. The Timberwolves in Game 2. They played fine. Like the Lakers didn't play good. And that's why I'm like comparing it, because the Lakers shot 20.7% from three, and
Neither
the
team really
Neither
Wolves,
team. It was a
the
sloppy
Wolves,
shooting game.
yeah, the
very low
Wolves
scoring.
only shot 20, but the Wolves shot 38 from the field, and the Lakers shot 45.3. So the
the
Wolves
difference
shot
there.
terrible, and you got to think the Lakers went 20 for 20 on free throws, while the Wolves went 20 for 25.
which is still
I think this
Good.
shows
That's a lot of free throws, but still, like, they played terrible, and they only lost by 9 on the road with the refs against them.
Here's the thing, though. I will say I agree with you that it's just. I think I do almost hope that the Wolves take the series, but I think that the Lakers could have the edge, because the thing is, the Wolves, because of how they're structured now, they're a very big like boomer bust team, whereas the Lakers are more consistent now because of the scoring they have. Like look. The Lakers scored 95 the first game, then they scored 94 the second game. They're consistently scoring the same amount of points, and that was throughout the season as well. And
I mean, in the playoffs, it slows down.
yeah, obviously
too,
the playoffs
obviously,
it slows
a little
down.
bit,
But
so.
like Wolves, they score 117 in the first game, and they score 85 in the second. So that's
Yeah,
my only
but-
worry on the Wolves side, because they don't have.
I mean,
the
you have
consistency.
bad shooting nights. You got to think that with the consistency, a team's never consistently going to shoot 50% from three. That's never going to happen. So they just had a extremely great night. But even if they didn't play extremely great like they did, if they played a little bit worse, they still would have won that game. They won by 22. Second
Yeah.
game, they lost by 9. And like I said, that was with a lot of the calls going the Lakers' way. And then I'm trying to think. A lot of the calls going the Lakers' way, and then the Timberwolves shooting terribly. Like
Yeah,
they
I think
shot
both teams are going to
terribly.
shoot better. Because both teams to not shoot well at all. I imagine this next game is going to be in the 100s.
Yeah, when
I
do they
think.
play next?
So their next game is, I believe, Friday.
Yeah, it is Friday.
Friday, 9:30, ESPN.
Well,
So two games in Minnesota now.
Yeah.
And see, the problem is,
Which
as
can make
as
a
a Minnesota
difference.
fan, I noticed this last year. I don't know. Well, I do know about Chicago a little bit, but like, I know as a like Minnesota fan, refs just hate Minnesota teams for some reason. If you look at a lot of the missed calls, like last season, there were so many missed calls that should have went inside the Wolves' favor, but they didn't go inside the Wolves' favor. I don't really know about the Bulls. I just touch on football a little bit. The Vikings, like this last season, they actually got a lot of calls, which was weird to see, but the Bears like never get calls. So like,
I will say, I think it definitely is more touchy with certain sports. So I think like football, we're a lot more like we're known as like the Monsters of the Midway. We're seen as a more physical team, and I honestly think that's how some of the refs perceive it as well, if I'm being so honest. Whereas basketball, I mean, like we were a physical team, but we're not anymore. We're so fragile, especially with like all the injuries we've had.
Yeah.
I seriously think like, and this goes across all teams, I seriously think that does play a role on how the refs
Younger team too.
Yeah.
A little bit more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that if the refs actually officiate like how they should, it's going to be Wolves in 5, because it should be.
You don't think there's any way Lakers can get one more?
I think maybe Wolves. So that's why first episode with this, I said Wolves in 6, and then you said Lakers in 7. I think both of those are like not extreme possibilities, but they're extremely likely. I think if the Lakers win, then it goes out to game 7. But if the Wolves win, the Wolves run away with it, because I think that it's going to come down to these 2 games right here.
I think the Lakers need to win game 3. I think if they don't win,
do you think they're going to win game 3?
I think it's either going to be 6 or 7. I don't think
Anthony Edwards is dropping like 24 points. That's what he's averaging. He's averaging 24. Naz Reid is averaging what would it be?
15, 12, or no, 12, it's like
17.
12,
He'd be averaging 17 because he dropped 23 the first game, 9 the second game, so that's 34. Yeah. So he's averaging 17 this series. Julius Randle's a dog. Then you have Jaden, who's like locked down on defense, and then Rudy, who he doesn't put up. Yeah, but Rudy doesn't put up the points, but he locks down in the paint. Yeah. But the good thing that the Lakers are doing is they keep on switching guards onto Rudy.
Oh yeah.
And then Rudy can't cover guards. So I remember having a conversation with, shout out CJ Coop. But I was having a conversation with him, and he was like, the only position Rudy can cover is the 5. I think he can cover some 4s. Like I actually don't know if he could cover Cat. He could cover Cat in the paint. In the paint, he could guard Cat. Right. But all around, no, he couldn't. He could guard Jackson Hayes. Oh, yeah. Original Jackson Hayes isn't a 4. Who's a 4 that just can't shoot?
Well, Rudy can shoot. A 4 that can't shoot?
I mean, it's at the NBA.
Few and far between now, honestly.
Yeah, that's what. But
I mean,
it's Draymond.
Draymond is technically their 5 right now.
Really?
Yes.
Because Quentin Post is coming off the bench, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they're actually putting him at the 4.
Oh, they're switching it. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I know, because Quentin Post is a lot taller.
Yeah, Quentin Post is
I mean, I would say that Draymond should be a 4. So, Draymond is a great example of it.
I don't think Draymond would do good against Rudy. He'd throw him in a chokehold again, but
he'd injure him.
Low-key, like a non-shooting big is modest. His shooting has not been amazing. He's been more of a inside slasher.
Yeah, I mean, Rudy just I don't know what he's able to do. I'm tossed up between Wolves in 6 and Wolves in 5, because Wolves in 5 is just funny.
6 or 7.
You right before the show you said Wolves in 5.
I know, and honestly,
I said Wolves in 5 before the show, and this man goes, and then he's like, I think it's gonna be a Wolves. Bro's trying to rage bait me. He's trying to rage bait me on my own show.
Okay, like I said, I actually it's such a toss up for me, because, like I said, they're kind of each other's kryptonite. I thought about it a little bit, and that's why I kind of went Wolves in 5 first, because of how the playoffs went last season, as well as how I see Anthony Edwards and his youth and his ability to score. But at the same time, Bron is still playing at a high level, and they have Luka now, which I completely brain farted, how much of an impact Luka really has on the team.
He's their best scorer against the Timberwolves. But I don't know, just I was watching game 1 with my mom and my grandma, and keep in mind, Anthony Edwards, right, dislocates his finger when he dunks on John Collins, jams it down, and he goes, snaps his finger back in, and then starts playing right away, right? Then he gets
Kobe type shit.
cramp.
that's what it is.
He gets a
Kobe Bryant.
cramp in the game versus the Lakers. Falls down on the ground, is grabbing his leg,
hurting.
and then
Yeah.
hops off to the locker room. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he just tore his ACL. Season's over. The season's over. And then he comes back out. I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, it was just a cramp. What?
Just a cramp.
And then you have
Falling crazy on the ground. Jimmy Butler last night.
Yeah, I
We'll get
was.
to that.
Yeah, I was
Nas,
talk about
but
that
Nas Reed
next.
got like smacked in the face intentionally by I think it was Vanderbilt. Wait, is his name Vanderbilt? I forget his name.
Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he smacked Nas Reed in the face
Yeah.
and like straight in the eye, and then Nas was like covering his face down on the ground, kicking his feet back and forth. I was like, what
Like,
happened?
it's not a lower leg.
Got poked in the eye. Like, bro, get up. I know it hurts. Be a man. I just got hit in the mouth when playing basketball the one day, and I freaking my mouth started gushing blood, and I hyperextended my knee the same game and still kept on playing and played 2 more games after that game. You just got to get up and you got to deal with it.
That's street ball.
It's that street ball life.
Yeah, street ball life.
I mean, it just...
I'm
Anthony Edwards grew up in Georgia.
I am gonna.
NBA softened him up, I guess.
Speaking of physicality,
Shoot.
though, I gotta jump over to. I'm a big Curry fan. I will say. I think if I had to pick a team, I like out of like favoritism. Well, not favoritism. I don't want to say favoritism, but like out of it would be really cool if they win. I think Warriors, but
Yeah, that didn't happen.
that ain't
Didn't
happening.
happen, Chief. I have Rockets in 7.
Really.
It's going to be a toss-up to Game 7. Either way, it's going to Game 7.
I don't think
If it doesn't go to Game 7, then it's Warriors in 6. But I'm fairly confident it's going to go to Game 7. My heart wants to say Warriors, but my mind says Rockets.
I think the Rockets are good, but I don't think they're there yet. Jalen Green and Eamon Thompson are too inconsistent.
They've really built through the draft these last
they really
3-4
have. I mean,
years.
Jabari-
Like all their
Jabari-
guys besides Van
Okay.
Vliet and Steven Adams.
And here's the crazy part
Like-
is that like I know I'm saying Warriors simply because Curry is such an X factor along with Jimmy. Great pairing, by the way. I think that was one of the best moves that the Warriors could have made this season. But also like the I gotta give credit where credit is due. In the Rockets, their roster is insane. I mean, Cam Whitmore is getting like max 10 minutes a game, and if he was getting 20 plus minutes, bro would be averaging.
And Reed Shepherd has been bouncing
Exactly.
back and forth
like
between their team
their
and the
team,
G-League team.
I don't see them making it this year simply because like look at the Thunder last year, right? They were a really
I hate
good
the
team.
Thunder.
Okay, just regardless.
Literally, I have a group chat called
Yeah, don't forget
a
the
word
Thunder,
I should
James.
not say, the Thunder. Timberwolves group chat.
Regardless of what you think, them last postseason, everyone was like, they're insane, they're really good. But like, they didn't. Did they make it? They made it to the second. No, they didn't make it past the first round,
Nope.
right? They
I
got
don't
bounced.
think so. Yeah.
And like that just goes to show because of their like youth, and I think that it's the same case with the Rockets. They have a very talented team, but I don't think they've learned to work together as a team just like the Thunder weren't last year.
Do you want to hear my first round predictions? Watch them be different than what I said yesterday. But Cavs, I don't have it marked down. I'm just looking at the matchups. Cavs in 4, Pacers in 4, Pacers in 5.
Wait, Pacers versus what?
Bucks.
Heat?
Versus Bucks.
I would say Pacers in 5.
Yeah, I switched it.
Yeah,
Pacers
they're
in 5,
getting home.
Celtics in 4,
Yes.
Knicks in
4
7,
They play better on the road. But yeah.
Knicks in 7, then Thunder in 5, Clippers in 6, Rockets in 7, and then Wolves in. I'm gonna switch it to 6. Wolves in 6.
I
Clips in
love
6.
I love the Clippers pick.
Dude, Clippers in 6.
Kawhi
Yeah,
resurgence?
yeah.
Question mark.
And James Harden's been playing great
Oh my
too.
god, he had 10 assists.
Yeah.
What was it? Yesterday? Or it was either yesterday or Tuesday. He had 9 or 10 assists on Tuesday, I think. Hold on. Not was it? No, it wasn't
To
yesterday.
hit on the Rockets again real quick though, 7 double-digit scores in the regular season.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's insane.
Exactly. Like crazy.
Like,
work.
and Cam Whitmore at 9.
Kawhi had 39 points. James Harden on
How
this
many
is
minutes did
on
Cam have?
Monday. Are you talking
He
about?
averaged 16
Are you talking game
per
1 or
in the
game
regular
2?
season, but let's see.
It might have been game 1. I apologize.
Yeah, because on game 2, Kawhi had 39 points. Zubac, or is it Zubac?
Zubac.
Okay, yeah, 16, 12, and 4, and then Harden had 18, 3, and 7.
So the first game though, the Clippers did lose first game against the Nuggets, but
by 2.
They should have won.
They should have. Harden had 32 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists. Everyone thinks of Harden as that pure scorer, right?
Well, that's because he almost is, but
his game has evolved so much.
Who is he playing with on the Rockets?
Nobody.
So that's why he was a pure scorer. I don't know what his stats were back in the day, and I'm not going to scroll on ESPN.
He was averaging four, 5, maybe 5 assists.
But I'm saying when he was on the Thunder with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, I wonder how many assists he got per game, because he probably got more assists per game.
I think it was 5 or 6, but you also have to think he wasn't getting nearly the minutes that he was.
That is true.
He was. Did he even start?
I don't know.
Because it was Westbrook. I guess it would have been Harden at the 2. Westbrook.
Honestly, I felt like he came off the bench so
yeah.
early.
I think he actually started as like towards the end of his first year, and then he started starting.
That's low key. I mean, crazy that they didn't win a chip, because you have prime Westbrook, you have Harden, you have KD, Serge, and then wasn't Steven Adams still their center at the time?
I don't know if he was quite there yet.
I don't think he was there.
Steven Adams is only 30.
That's kind of crazy.
We forget that all the time. He's way younger.
He's such a nice guy.
He is such a nice guy.
Dude, he's such a nice guy. If you ever see this, have you seen the thing of the kid saying can you sign my hat? And he's like, what do you say? And then the kid's like, please. And he's like, okay. And signs the hat.
Yeah.
Dude, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do agree with a lot of your takes for the first round matchups. I'll say I do think the Bucks get a game out of the Pacers. I don't. Who are the Heat playing? I'm tweaking.
Heat play the Cavs.
Yeah.
That's why I said Cavs in 4.
Yeah. The Heat aren't winning.
The Heat could win a game, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's more likely that the Heat win a game versus the Cavs than for the Magic to win a game versus the Celtics.
Going to happen? I think Tyler Hero is going to turn into another James Harden in the Rockets scenario.
Just grow a beard.
Well, okay, but think about it.
Bushy beard.
Harden had Clint
with the buzz cut.
Hero has Bam. Bam's a lot different than Clint, obviously, but
and shooters around him, honestly,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your Pistons Knicks one?
Knicks in 7.
Knicks in 7. I was interested.
That's because go ahead.
Because the Pistons are another young team, like the Rockets, and the Knicks have had some guys in huge trade for Cat.
Fun fact, Brunson's actually leading in the playoff points right now, 35.5.
That's why I have him winning it.
And I do think it's going to continue to be a very competitive series.
That's why it's going to go down to 7. It's going down to 7 either way. I know I said that the Warriors versus Rockets is going to either one inside 7 or Warriors in 6. But this one is no matter what, I think it's either going to be Detroit in 7 or New York in 7. That's just what it's going to be, because this series is going to stay tight till the last game. And I got to give it to the Knicks. I think the Knicks are a better team all the way around. Yeah. Karl-Anthony Towns said the last game dropped 23, 11, 5, 4, and 2 on 71.4% shooting.
Almost a 5 for 5. That's crazy.
71.4% shooting. He was 1 for 3 from 3. And then you had Brunson with 34 points, and then Anunoby with 23.
He's leading in steals as well for the playoffs. He's averaging 3.
Really?
He's averaging 3.5 steals.
Wow.
The Knicks defensively,
at
times can just be really.
The only thing was
solid.
Bridges didn't play great. He had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks.
He's so up and down. It's so.
But
weird.
At the same time, when you got a dude that's dropping a 23-10 or a 20-10-5 game, then a dude that's dropping a 30 and then 8 assists, and then 23-7 and then 5 steals, 2 blocks for Anunoby.
Yeah.
That's the defensive side of the ball is great. That's why I got to give this series to them. But Cade's just not going to give up on his team. That team is just not going to give up.
Yeah. Brunson's leading in points with 35.5. Anunoby's leading with 3.5 steals per game, which is crazy.
I didn't even notice this. Tobias Harris was the in game 1. Tobias Harris was the leader on the
Yeah,
Pistons.
pretty
Then it was Cunningham, then Beasley. So 3 players that scored 20. And then you take a look at the Knicks. You have 2 players that scored 23 and then one that scores almost 35. So like I gotta hand it to the Knicks with this series. You gotta think first game they won by 11. Then second game they won by, if I can find. Wait, have they played their second game yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second game
Thank
they
you.
lost.
Yeah. They lost by
That's 1-1.
6.
Yeah.
And inside that game, you had Cade with 33, 12, 3, and 2.
Yeah, he had a nice.
And then
Night too.
Schroeder had 20 points. That was a big piece.
Dennis Schroeder's been nice for them. at
That
times.
was nice. But then Brunson dropped 37, 3, 7, and
Yeah.
2. And then Bridges dropped 19. So he almost dropped a 20 piece. Hart, once again, inside the double digits for points.
Hart's such a good player.
And then
He is
Towns,
such-
10 points.
He's one of those guys who just knows his role and just
I love
fits
Hart.
it to a
Hart's
dime.
amazing.
Okay, and he like low key talk about fantasy for a second. Fantasy God.
He's talking about that.
Oh, I don't.
fantasy.
I don't do
I do
fantasy
fantasy
like that.
basketball, bro.
He
I
always
had-
grabs
I
boards. He
literally,
always gets-
I almost took him like he doesn't score a lot, and I almost took him 3rd round in my draft with like a 12-man league because he is such a good assist and rebound and steal and block player. Like he is such a good all-around player except for points. He doesn't average a lot of points,
No.
but like he has the valuable things in like.
Well, he is a role player. He fits that position. If you need him to go, I think if you need him to go out there and you need him to get like 20 points,
Oh, he can.
he can do it. I don't think he can be the star on the team. Like if somebody's out, I don't think he can be the star on the team. But like, well, really no team is. I remember my mom, because I was freaking out about that Anthony Edwards thing when he got that cramp. I was like, oh, it's over. My mom's like,
It's over.
if they can't win without that Anthony Edwards guy, I was like, Mom, almost like any of these teams, you take away their best player,
It's not happening.
they're not going to win at all. Besides maybe the Thunder. I think the Thunder can win without Shea. I think they can win without
I
Shea.
don't know.
I think they can win without
Win
Shea.
it all without Shea?
Huh?
Win the NBA championship without Shea?
No, like a series.
Series. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think without Shea, they can still pull out this. If Shea was like, I'm no longer playing in this series, I think they can beat the Grizzlies. I think after game 1, they could have beat the Grizzlies because you got to think this was during game 1. There was like 8 minutes left in the game and the Timberwolves were up by like 32. So they were probably most likely going
If
to
not
win that
more.
game anyway.
Because they won by 50. So,
What? Wait, what are you talking about?
What are you talking
You
about?
said they won by 50?
The Grizzlies?
Oh.
the Thunder over the Grizzlies?
I was talking about like the Wolves game with Anthony Edwards getting hurt because like during game 1, I'm saying game 1.
Guess I missed
Game
you
game 1,
checking-
Anthony
checking
Edwards got hurt with like 8 minutes left, and the Wolves were up by like 32, and they would have won that game no matter what at that point,
Yeah.
most likely. Then you have the rest of the series. I don't think without Ant, even right now, even if they were on a 2-0 lead, I don't think they could pull a series out versus the Lakers without Ant. When you have the Thunder, I think they can pull out a 2-0 series lead versus the Grizzlies without Shea easily.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they could.
Grizzlies, yes. Other teams, I don't think so.
Shea is all he is foul merchant. I'm a Shea hater. All Shea is foul merchant.
I love Shea.
No, he's a foul merchant.
He's
He's a foul merchant.
okay, but that doesn't make him a bad player.
Yes, it does. If I know that he scores the most in the league even without free throws, but like if that's where you have to get your primary scoring from, you're not good.
I disagree.
I would
I don't think completely. I
don't
think
say
there's-
foul baiting is a skill because it's not.
Well, and it's not even necessarily a skill. It's more so, like, I think you should be praised for one being so good at the line for how good at the line he is. Like he is so efficient at the line, and 2, like he was built as a big point guard slasher. So like he's going to go inside. He's going to get fouled because that's just how
Yeah, but a
he is
lot
as
of the
player.
times he doesn't even get touched. He just gets calls. That's why it's a thing
That's
of like
not on
Is that
him,
his
though.
fault?
That's not on him.
that's on the refs.
okay.
Then
yes.
it's then
But it's
why do you have
crazy-
hate towards him?
But it's crazy how the fouls always go in his favor. Like it's crazy.
Well,
I wonder how Shea would
okay,
do in
but
like a street ball game.
he's still gonna dominate.
probably dominate. Just
He'd
it's
probably
just
get
straight foul.
punched.
Okay, and he would get up, and he played for Canada in the
In the Olympics, yeah.
He still averaged like 20 in the Olympics.
And they lost.
They did.
USA. But anyway, no, I don't like Shea at all. I don't like him. I think that the Thunder are still a complete team without him just because they're a positionless team. Like the Timberwolves still run their positions.
Definition of it.
Lou, Jalen, Chet, the other Jalen.
They run a
Yeah,
positionless
J-Dub,
team.
J-Will.
It's so.
That's why I think
Joe.
that's a big reason why I think they can win without him is because they're a positionless team. They're able to like go through and like still have the rotations, just missing one piece. The Timberwolves, if you don't have Ant, you don't have your starting shooting guard. Yes, you technically have Shea as your starting point guard, but it's positionless.
I mean, well, it's just kind of crazy to me, like how good they are in terms of talent. Like, and it's not just like their era. Like, I feel like the Thunder, like, ever since becoming the Thunder, they have been a really good, like, talent building team. Like, they had KD, Harden, Westbrook, Ibaka, right? All four major talents, and now they have Shea, Chet, J. Will, Dort. Like,
That's why I'm saying they're a talented team besides that. Not to say the Timberwolves aren't, but realistically, you're not going to get to the I almost said World Series. You're not going to I'm so tired. You're not going to get anywhere without Anthony Edwards because if your lead scorer is going to be Julius Randle, that's not going to work.
That's not going to get it.
If you're going to have Nickeil Alexander-Walker at your 2, and that's just not, no, they'd actually probably shift. They'd have Mike at the 1. They'd have Dante.
DiVincenzo
Yeah, they'd have
to the
Dante at
2,
the
yeah.
2. But still, it just wouldn't work.
I don't know. It's just interesting. Like,
They run the position so hard on the Timberwolves.
it's kind of crazy.
They really
though, like,
do.
for how talented the Thunder are, to like how bad of a postseason they had last year, and hopefully it doesn't go as bad this year for how talented they are. But like
Hopefully it does.
for you, but
I'm a Timberwolves fan. I'm supposed to hate the Thunder.
okay, but like I'm like this guy's sitting on the outside here. I'm a Bulls fan, so I can't even say crap about like the Bulls because they're not even in the freaking playoffs. But like sitting back and just looking at like the playoffs, all of like the major teams they have like the 1 or 2 stars, but like Timberwolves, they have Ant and they have Randall. Like that's their big 2 right now, right?
Yes.
The Lakers, they have Bron and Luka.
Mhm.
You know, the Nuggets, they have Murray and Jokic, right? Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
You always have a Batman and a Robin.
Right? Exactly. But the Thunder are the only team where like they have Batman and Robin and Nightwing and like it's crazy.
I will say you bring up Tatum and Brown. I think we'd be remiss to not maybe put Boston in that same category.
You don't think they're a Batman and Robin scenario?
I think they are, but like
in terms
added
of a
on,
super
like
team.
the Nightwing and
I would say, yeah.
that, like,
Oh, you think
Drew
they should be added
Holiday,
onto that?
Derek
Well,
White,
Well, you
Porzingis,
could-
Porzingis, of
Porzingis.
course.
You could make the
100%.
same argument with the Timberwolves.
No.
Yes, you could easily say that Jaden McDaniels is like a Nightwing. You could easily say yes, you could because he's literally like the captain of the defense. He's the reason why their defense is so good.
It's not nearly the same though.
I think
as
the Celtics and Thunder, like up and down, 1
2
through 5,
powerhouses.
though.
I could even say I think emerging another team that could be like that is the Cavs.
Listen, I was going to say the Bulls.
No.
He said, "I think my."
I thought he was going to be like the Batman and Robin that are coming up. Kobe White and Josh Giddey.
Yeah, Giddey, Mike.
Well,
Come on.
I mean, if they, like I said, if they progress, it could be something,
I don't-
or even modest, bro.
I don't think they'll be Batman and Robin, but I think that they'll get somebody else that's like. I think easily Kobe White is going to
Watch
be a
us
Batman and Robin.
sweep the lottery and get Coop.
Oh.
If we get Coop, trade Vooch. Oh,
I'd be
crap.
happy to see the Bulls do good. I like Vooch though. He's just
Oh,
old.
he's a good player.
He's just old.
Yeah, he's
don't
getting
know.
up there.
I don't know. Oh, he's 34.
Yeah, he's old.
If the Spurs get the first pick, if Wemby
They're
stays
not
healthy,
okay, but
like I don't know
Wemby and
how
Coop,
good
there's
it is.
no shot that like how do you? I would trade that honestly. You're gonna get so much value for that first pick, and
Yeah.
you have Wemby.
Yeah.
Why would you take?
You have Wemby.
You have Wemby. Why would
They
you
still
take
have Chris Paul, so they don't need a point guard.
No.
I think that's more.
No, he's
that's,
retiring.
That's maybe more
it?
of a
Chris
ticket
Paul. I
sale.
thought Chris Paul was retiring after this year.
He might be.
Pretty sure he's
Oh,
done.
really?
He might be.
Did not know that.
I mean, but so you either want like a point guard or because you don't want another big. So
Dylan Harper. He's little or an Ace Bailey, small forward.
yeah, you got to get somebody
Yeah.
that's 1 through 3. I don't think you want a 4 or
shout out
5.
Ace Bailey. He's a guy.
He is a guy.
I was a big 2K22 guy, and I've rebuilt the Thunder out of fun, and I drafted Ace Bailey, absolute dog. Just saying, I think people are sleeping on Ace Bailey out of Rutgers in terms of prospects. I think a lot of people don't know. You don't know Ace Bailey's name, but you will.
See, I don't really watch college all that much.
See, I think Dylan Harper just because his brother, Ron, then his sister was his high school like assistant coach. Obviously, his dad. Like, there's so much basketball in that family, too. So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think that dang, we got off topic because we were just talking about the Timberwolves and stuff. I don't know. I think
Basketball in general.
yeah,
we're making this two episodes. So,
yeah, I just think that the Timberwolves are going to win inside 5 or win inside 6. I don't think the Lakers are going to win because when you take a look at just the talent wise and you compare it, yes, in this series, Luka is playing better than Ant is. If you go side by side, Luka is playing better than Ant. LeBron is playing better than Jaden McDaniels, which
yeah.
well, I hate complimenting like other teams that like we're playing, but that LeBron block, like he smacked it against the backboard.
Let's go like position by
Block
position
my
here for a
James!
second. So we have Reeves versus who's the one? Mike at the one.
It exchanges between Mike and Dante. I don't know
Yeah.
who started.
Probably Mike. Dante's been riding the bench.
Which I don't know why they did it. I remember crashing out on an episode
also don't like
earlier.
that.
Shout
I
out,
like
shout out
Dante
Dante out of
DiVincenzo.
Villanova, bro. He's
Yeah,
a
I
dog.
loved him on
I still
Villanova.
remember watching when they won the chip with Dante, and
Yep.
he had that
And
like
Brunson
blown dunk.
and
He
Mikal Bridges.
he had the blown dunk at
half
the end.
Knicks team, not really, but
Do you want to include in total or just this series who's playing better?
Just this series. I mean, we don't got to go in total.
Okay, so yeah, the one is way better. Mike Conley inside the second game had 0 points,
Yeah.
6 rebounds, and
So
1
we
assist.
and I still think overall, like as a player, I think Reeves can be good defensively. Not nearly as much as Mike Conley, obviously, but
Well, yeah.
I think he has more offensive.
But the thing is, it's not each position on each position how it is. But still, just comparing it at the one, you got to give it to the Lakers with Reeves. I think if Dante was there, there'd be a bigger like comparison. But just
I
starting
agree
with
that.
Mike, then because Reeves, I forget what he did inside the second game, he dropped 16. I think in the first game he dropped like 19. So like,
yeah, he was like 5 for 13.
yeah, he's
Two.
better than Mike this series. Then if you go to the two is Anthony Edwards versus Luka.
which is
this
a crazy
series-
matchup.
Yeah.
This series, it's Luka,
Which is crazy to say.
Even
Like,
though Ant is not the best shooting guard inside this series. Like
I would
that
take
is-
Ant
That
as
is-
an overall
that is
player,
a
though.
Crazy
Well, yeah.
thing to say.
Well, Ant's playing like better, I'd say, on the like defensive
Oh,
part.
100%.
But when you got to do that,
Oh, when you
how
need
much?
competition.
How much is Luka averaging inside this series?
32? Could be wrong.
31 the first game. I mean, 37 the first game, 31 the second game. So that'd be 68. So he's averaging 34.
Yeah.
He's averaging 34, and Anthony Edwards is averaging, I think, 24. So he's averaging 10 more points than Anthony Edwards. Ant's getting more rebounds, but less assists. So it's like, I would just rather take Luka there.
Off of pure scoring. And then we go to the 3. Is Bron at the 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bron's
Bron versus McDaniels, and that's another close matchup. Not close, but I'm saying like, not close, but like tough because
Yeah.
I know what
he's
you mean,
good.
in a sense. He is good.
I think
Really
I think
good.
if Jaden Daniels keeps evolving, he could get not to the LeBron level. But
Well,
like,
yeah,
he
but
could
that's-
get to where like he could give LeBron a challenge.
But that's why I'm saying like he locked him down the entirety of the first quarter in the first game.
That's true.
But it's a thing of like what I meant by that was not like Conley versus Reeves. That was an easy decision to make. It's easily Reeves. Then with Ant, you have to sit down and look at it. Ant versus Luka, and then you don't really have to sit down and look at it when it's LeBron versus Slim. But you're like, dang, Slim's good.
Yeah.
Move to the 4. We got Rui versus Randall.
Yeah,
And that
it's
one-
it's easily
It's
Randall.
easy one.
And then
Rui is doing pretty good. I mean,
but Randall is just He's a bucket.
Yeah, then we have Gobert versus
Jackson
Hayes.
Hayes.
which I think Gobert still takes that just
Well, yeah.
because of his defensive
Yeah, I think
ability.
that's another easy.
But I
Easy
think
one.
I think it's a thing of when you take all of that talent in the starting five and you throw it inside a pot. Like if you gave everybody a rating that's on the starting five for the Timberwolves and the starting five for the Lakers, I think that the starting five for the Timberwolves comes out on top. Then you got to incorporate, Then you got to incorporate the bench ability. So
Well, that's where
Nas,
things take a
Dante.
turn.
yeah, Nas Dante, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm trying to think. Why can I not think of my own players? Oh, geez.
Did Garza get some minutes the other night? Maybe in that blowout.
No.
though.
Yeah, it was in the blowout.
Yeah.
Terrence Shannon Jr. actually got a couple minutes inside the other game.
Shout out another Illinois legend
Yeah,
right
there
there,
we go.
bro.
There we go.
Bucket.
But-
I'm so proud of Terrence.
Jalen Clark got a couple minutes, but like
Up against Dorian Finney-Smith
But-
and
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent connects. I don't really think he's got
Vanderbilt.
A lot. Yeah,
It's actually kinda crazy.
Vanderbilt has not got a lot of minutes either.
They
But-
shortened the rotation.
But when
They
you
really did.
but when you
Oh,
like
you're talking about the Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves, they did
Yeah.
too. The Timberwolves shortened their rotation
If you-
in the second
but if-
game versus the first.
if you look at the bench, like the benches compared to each other, the Timberwolves clear. Easily clear. That's why I'm saying like talent and rotations on the team as a whole. Like if you include rotations, like if you went down like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then like the 6, 7, 8, 9, then it would start pulling away as Timberwolves.
So
Yeah.
Clark, Minot, and Miller and Garza all played in the first game, and then you look
Clark
back
is good.
at Tuesday, and Garza didn't play, Miller didn't play, Minot didn't play. So the only one to play was Terrence Shannon Jr. out of the 4 that played in the first game.
Love Terrence Shannon Jr. They need to give him more minutes,
I
dude.
agree.
He's a wing. Like
I think
So
if they give,
explosive, too.
I think if
So
they give,
athletic.
like
Gosh.
on Illinois, he was a pure scorer because I think he had to be, but I think he really can evolve his like passing and his passing game if they give him the chance, and his defensive.
well, that's
ability
what's
isn't bad either.
they drafted him and they drafted Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, that
and
was
they
so
could have had it like that. I don't know why they draft. I get you draft a point guard to replace Mike in the distant future. Then TSJ is just he's just great. Like,
Yeah.
but they traded up to get Rob, and then they don't even play him.
Yeah.
It's really it doesn't make a lot of sense on the GM side. But they I think the point is that they have a lot of talent on
Yeah.
the bench.
Yeah.
and
But that's why I'm
starting
saying,
five.
like, if you go all the way down, if you go just the starting five, I'd say like position by position, the Lakers have 3 out of 5. But if you go like per rating all the way
roster.
around, I would rather have the Timberwolves by far, just because that bench ability is insane.
I think
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
why the superstar.
If you
Superstars
replace,
for the Lakers. Stars for the Lakers.
because
So
you got to
important to
think,
play well.
Nas Reed can play the
And
4 or the
Reeves, too.
5. He can play the 4 or the 5. You have Nas Reed go in and replace Rudy.
I really
Then
think
you're
that would be a better
starting.
lineup.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I think that he just comes better off the bench. But the thing is, and then if you replace Mike with Dante at that 5, like
Another-
in rotations, then you have Dante, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels. I keep on wanting to call him Slim. People that don't know Jaden McDaniels' nickname is Slim. But so then you have that, then Randall at the 4, and then Nas Reed at the 5. That floor spacing is impeccable.
That's good.
With Nas
Floor
Reed's
spacing.
shooting ability too.
Exactly.
You could stretch that floor.
So you have Dante last season I was like Anthony Edwards is a below average 3-point shooter because he was.
And
Then he
let
comes
him-
in and he leads the league in threes. So you have Dante, who's obviously a 3-point shooter. He's cold with it. And then you have Ant, who led the league in threes. Then you have Nas, who's one of the best shooting big men in the league. Well, that's also because he takes less shots because he's a bench player. And then Randall, he's a
He's
fadeaway
more
guy.
like a midi.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
fadeaway guy.
I mean, Reed still shoots it at a decent clip though. He went 6 for 9
Yeah.
in game 1.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
So-
he's a good shooter, and then you have Jaden McDaniels who can put up a 3, but like that floor spacing is amazing. Compare it to Mike. Like I don't know why they have Mike at the 1,
Mike is really good. In
He's
the
a good floor
assist and
general.
Defense game.
but yeah, he's a good
I
floor
think
general.
playoffs
but
too,
like
just like
the
experience
floor
there. But
general.
that shouldn't be the whole.
I mean,
argument
Dante was on the
when
Knicks
choosing
last
how to
year
play.
too.
Yeah,
When the Knicks
Yeah,
were in the playoffs.
you're right.
So I really think Dante is. I was really surprised when they started putting him on the bench because I thought that he would be a much bigger piece.
They probably a big reason why I think Chris Finch has it like that is because Mike and Rudy both played together on the Jazz.
That's true.
And then now they're both there. So that dynamic is nice to have. But when that dynamic's not doing anything because Rudy Gobert misses dunks and they can't run a kick play because Mike can't hit a single three, like, it's not going to work. But I would still either way rather have Naz Reid coming off the bench because he's great defensively, but I would just rather start the game off with Rudy, and then when they put in their bench players, you put in somebody like Naz to just run away with it. Because, I know we were talking about Jackson Hayes versus Rudy, and Rudy's not a scorer. Jackson Hayes versus Naz Reid, Naz Reid's dominating Jackson Hayes. He's dominant. Jackson Hayes can't cover him on the perimeter, let alone on the inside, or on the inside, let alone on the perimeter.
I think it's crazy how much, like, the front court the Lakers have versus the back court.
It's huge. It's huge disparity.
Like the switch in terms and it's crazy because the Wolves front court isn't bad either.
Exactly. It's just the Lakers front court is just that good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you have two future Hall of Famers that are on your front court. I mean,
I don't know. I just think out of all of the series though, I'm glad that the Lakers Wolves is the focus because I think that is going to be especially in the first round, the most back and forth.
I think that one, Pistons Knicks.
I think Pistons Knicks is going to be the best series.
I don't know.
That's going to 7.
I really think though, the Knicks are going to take it. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks took it in 6, simply because.
But you think what you said the Timberwolves are going to go to Game 6?
I think the Timberwolves.
And you have the Timberwolves winning.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. Only because we talked about. I think the Timberwolves bench is going to over-trump the productivity of Luka and Bron.
Yeah.
I mean...
Because they can only play for a certain amount of minutes.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it could go either way. My mind honestly could be swayed depending on how this Game 3
Game
goes.
3, yeah.
Game 3 is crucial.
It's huge. Like I said, I think it's a must-win.
Well, it is. Game 2 was your guys' must-win.
Yeah, Game 2 really was
if the Wolves won 2 straight games on the road, it would have been Wolves in 4.
Rats.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting though because of the trades they both made, how much the power dynamics switched because you look at last year, Lakers were in the play-in. They made the playoffs only because of the play-in, and then they got beat by the Nuggets. So because they were the 8 seed, I believe. They're the 3 seed.
I thought they were the 7, but yeah. Nonetheless, yeah.
Regardless.
Wait, did you say the Lakers?
Yeah.
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
I think they were the 7.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in the play-in.
Yeah, they're in the play-in. Beat the Warriors. LeBron saw 3 rims. Aim for the middle one. Yeah.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
But
yeah, you lied.
It's just
I saw 3 rims. Aim for the middle one.
But it's just really cool to see how one trade can alter how your season goes because I don't think that the Anthony Davis I love Reeves, but I don't think that Anthony Davis with Bron and Reeves could have done what Luka, Bron, and Reeves are doing. I think it's a very big...
No, they couldn't do what they're doing, but they would have been different because the defense would have been better. I explained this before. I think with the Lakers, when it was towards the end of AD's time there, AD was the best Laker on that team. He was the best. He was the best player because even though LeBron is one of the greatest of all time, Jordan is still better. But even though LeBron is one of the greatest of all time, it's a thing of LeBron wouldn't show up for games, and obviously he'd show up. I mean metaphorically, but LeBron wouldn't show up for games and they would still win. AD wouldn't show up for games and they'd lose because they didn't have that presence inside the post.
Yeah, we had talked about that.
So because I feel like a 3 is not, LeBron's not easy to replace, but a 3 is easy to replace, especially with the type of team that you guys have.
Versatile.
Yeah,
but a lot of people on that team can play the 3. Then you have on the 5 at the 5 piece, you have AD And then after AD, you have Jackson Hayes. That fall off is insane.
It's huge.
That's
So-
why I was so surprised with the Luka trade, not only because it was Luka for AD, but because they were willing to give up probably one of the most important, like if not the most important, one of the most important pieces in AD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised that the Lakers were the one to make that trade. I mean, obviously it worked out for them, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, AD got injured. Would that have happened on the Lakers? Maybe, but he was a lot more prone to injury. But I think it's just, like, they gave up their defensive capability with that and traded it for more offense, which helped them in the long run, but it was a very surprising.
Well, yeah.
It really has hurt them defensively.
Well, yeah, because
A lot.
you could afford to lose your 2 if you're the Lakers. You couldn't afford to lose your 5, but they got another 2 and they lost their 5. But it's still working out for them perfectly fine because the 5 you got is, or the 5, the 2 you got. Jeez.
For example, the mid-March Bulls put 149 points against the Lakers with Luka.
Yeah, I remember that.
We won 149 to 113. I don't remember the last time before that the Bulls.
Bears.
The
Bears.
the
We're all
Bulls,
losing our minds in here slowly.
the Bulls put up more than 140. I mean,
Yeah, that's insane.
then to come back and beat them with a Josh Giddey buzzer beater, but that's a different story.
Don't even talk about
Lakers,
that.
oh my gosh, that made my day. I was just,
Speaking of, like, were you about to say Lakers in 5?
Well, I was.
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
So,
I was gonna say that, but
Shannon
I have
Sharp-
an edit on my phone that I saw that was like Josh Giddey, blah blah blah, Fitty, and then it was Lakers in, and before he could say 5, it cut off to a Josh Giddey edit, and it was awesome.
Oh, so, like,
Shannon
speaking of-
Sharp's lawsuit
no. He just announced that he's taking a step down from ESPN for a while.
because of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's getting sued for $50 million. Have you seen that clip where he's like, for $50 million, I'll go to hell? And he's getting $50 million taken away
yeah,
from him.
but
I can't believe he said that. That is insane.
well, did you see
never
that
saw
he
that.
released on
Wow.
TikTok like a statement? He was like, "I'm gonna explain the situation for what it was. This happened, but it was consensual." And
Oh, okay. I was about to say, did he just like admit to what he did? We're not
No.
going to say what he did because I don't want to get demonetized, but
No.
it's not like I make ad revenue anyway. But
Well,
for the future ad revenue that I'll make, the future ad revenue, we're not going to say what he did.
But yeah, he was pretty much just straightforward, and I was like, "Dang!" And he was like, "Yeah, this is kind of wild, but it's not accurate all the way, and it's a money grab, and it's a shakedown, and so I will be fighting against this, and people that know me know who I truly am." And I was like, "Dang!"
I mean,
Shout out Shannon Sharp, Lakers in 5.
standing on this ground.
nah, it's going to be
Okay, but
Wolves in 6.
like if I'm being honest, if the Lakers win in 5, I'm going to laugh my ass off simply because Shannon Sharp called it.
he always says Lakers in 5. It's going to work eventually.
Lakers in 5.
It's gonna work eventually.
Lakers in 5. See what I mean? I
It's
changed
not
my
gonna
mind
work.
again.
It's not gonna work.
What did I say to you?
I
What did
changed
say
my
to you
mind
before?
again.
I changed my mind.
What did I say to you? I saw this man in the comments earlier from like across the room, ran over to him, waited for him outside the bathroom, just going like this. And I forgot what did I say to you?
I think you just
Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. You're like, I saw you walking across the commons, and I was at George's,
Wolves in 5.
and then
Oh,
you
but
were in
I-
the campus covered, and you lost me. But I just went to the bathroom.
I forgot what I said. I said something.
Oh,
Wolves in 5.
Wolves in 5. No, but I forgot what I said. I either said something to you or I said something to CJ Coop about Wolves in 5 because I made up a little rhyme
Julius
thing for it.
Randle, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards scandal. Wolves in
Anthony
5.
Edwards scandal.
No,
That is a true thing though.
That's the thing.
If you know, you know.
yeah.
I guess I don't know.
No, I mean,
18
let
mil
me
straight.
think. What was the one? What was the one that I sent to you?
LeBron.
What did I send you after the game? I was like
Oh, it was something like
something. What was it?
I got it.
Something, and then you I despise. There's truth in lies. What was
Lakers
it?
in 5.
Jeez, I sent it to you. I remember
Yeah.
that. Do you have the transcription?
Oh yeah, it was like what?
Yeah. I forgot.
Burgers and
what-
fries, you guys
Yeah.
spy. There's truth and lies, wolves and five.
Yeah, and I did the
That gave me a little chuckle. Okay.
Wolves in 5.
Yeah, I think I sent that to you like right as the clock hit 0.
Yeah, it was pretty late. It was pretty late
Yeah.
because it was a late game.
Yeah, it was like right when the clock hit 0, and I sent that to him. But yeah, I don't know. Is there any finishing comments that any of you guys want to make?
Bulls are winning the chip next year.
Oh, here we go. Just
Okay,
like
now
you
he's
talked
just
about with the
delusional.
Bears.
All right, that'll do it here for
Lakers
us.
You heard it here
that
first,
wasn't-
everyone. You heard it here first.
You are not going to be allowed on the
Josh
show
Giddey
anymore,
Finals MVP.
All right,
Or
this
Kobe
episode's
White.
done. God bless
Stop it,
y'all.
man.
Modest
Stop it.
breakout year.
God-
See you guys.
Jesus, God bless y'all. Good night.